All right, we are in our sentence combining workbook. If you turn to page 99, you will get right to this page. We're going to be working with the conjunction unless. Unless can mean these three things. So we're combining two ideas, and the ideas can mean, if you don't do something, or if it doesn't happen, then something else won't be possible. Okay, so we have three examples here on this page. Example number 1 says, you can't go unless you finish your work. So this sentence means that you can't go if you don't finish your work. So the way that this might have looked before, it might have said you can't go, and there might have been a period there, and it might say you can't go, or you can go, sorry, if you finish your work. So those would have been the two different sentences that were combined. Instead of being two sentences, we're now saying you can't go unless you finish your work. It's less wordy, it's straight to the point. Sentence number 2, football is fun unless you get hurt. So this is the exception. Like, if this happens, then football's not fun, right? So football is fun. That could have been the first sentence. And then the second sentence might have said, it's not fun when you get hurt. That might have been what the second sentence was, and then instead it was combined to be one straightforward sentence. And then number 3, bees won't sting unless they are scared. So this sentence is telling us that bees will only sting if they are scared. So in order for a bee to sting you, they would have to be scared first. So these two ideas might have said bees won't sting, and then the second sentence might have said they only sting when or if they are scared. So instead of being too repetitive and saying, the same things over in sentences that are way too close together, we're going to join these two ideas and use the conjunction unless. So let's go ahead and practice page 99 together. So we always can look at the top, and it will give us guidance as to what each page will do. So this first row has the two ideas, or the two sentences. I will see you tomorrow. I won't if I'm sick. We want unless to be embedded or placed into the middle of these two ideas. That's why the box in the middle has the conjunction. So, I will see you tomorrow unless I'm sick. So I noticed that this word, I won't if, except if. This is more like a except if I'm sick. So I will see you tomorrow unless I'm sick. Let's take a look at number 1. You can't go to school. You can only go if you're wearing pants. So you can't go to school unless you're wearing pants. Makes sense, right? So if you're not wearing pants, you're not going to school. In order for idea 1 to be possible, you got to do idea 2. Don't say that. Only say it if you mean it. So here we have an only, and we learned on that green page right here that unless can mean, that only if. It'll only happen if. So don't say that unless you mean it. So I was able to get rid of some of the wordy things. So like these 4 words right here, I replaced with unless. You will fail this class. You will if you don't study hard. So I see that keyword, if again. So you will fail this class if you don't study hard. So we could actually get rid of all of these words, right? You will fail this class unless study hard. We need to actually keep this one, right? You will fail this class unless you study hard. Now, depending on your purpose, like what your intent is for writing a sentence, might determine if you're going to use the word unless. This is a pretty drastic thing to say. This is a serious thing. And so if you were to say a sentence and this was the first part you're going to read, you're really going to catch someone's attention. If I spoke to you like this and I said this part first, it would catch your attention, right? You will fail this class. All of a sudden you're paying attention. That's how a reader might respond to this kind of sentence too. And then they hear the word unless, and then they know that there's another part to this. All right, sentence 4. You can't go to the park. You can't except if you finish our homework. So I see that word except, so I know that there's going to be an unless here. There's kind of like a, you can do it if. So you can't go to the park. What does this person have to do? Well, they have to finish homework, right? So we're going to get rid of you can't except if you. So you can't go to the park unless. So these 4 words are going to be replaced by unless. You can't go to the park unless you finish our homework. And then the last example, number 5 on page 99. I love all dogs. I do unless they growl at me. So this actually gives us unless, right? So we can actually combine these. We don't need to make this 2 sentences. We already know we're talking about I. I love all dogs. Let's get rid of this unless they growl at me. And there we go. So be sure that you're using the COPS checklist. Has everything started with a capital? Is it organized? And the way that we're organizing it right now is we're joining 2 ideas and it has to have the conjunction unless. Is your punctuation correct? So if you saw an apostrophe, are you using that? Did you make sure that you have periods at the end of every sentence? And then spelling. So there's no reason to have anything misspelled because you're copying exactly what you see above. All right.